Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode did I just say hey y'all? Good, let me try that again. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of my Let's Play World of Tanks. I'm Darkling, and yes, I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, so I am kind of a hick. But anyway, so where was I before I just completely threw myself off with that one? Yeah, so anyway, getting back in after the second anniversary of World of Tanks here, they had quite a few sales and ended up picking up quite a few new toys. While I didn't buy much in the way of tanks to actually work and grind on, I actually had to force myself not to, because otherwise I would have ended up, how should I word this? I would have otherwise ended up buying more tanks than I would have been capable of like being able to do in a reasonable amount of time within a day. Because, well, when you work 40 hours, 45 hours a week, and you come home to play tanks, having to do, 10 or 12 doubles would probably take up your entire time when you get home. So I kind of decided that was probably better off if I just skipped getting all those tanks, and instead I'll just pick up a few premiums, and also from there I'll just get up, one or two of these tanks that are on sale. So what I ended up doing was grabbing the Su-101, the Soviet Speedy TD. I ended up purchasing the Super Pershing here. I ended up purchasing the IS-6, which I just shot. And I ended up getting a nice little present from somebody. But I'll actually address that when I get to that tank individually, because that's a, they get special callouts because of that. I mean, you can't not. That was pretty swell of them. Swell, sweet, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I've got this T-26. I've been playing against it ever since the day it came out, slowly figuring out how to make it work better, figuring out the weak points, this, that, and the other thing, and, slowly figuring out how to make it work. I know that it has less penetration than the Type 59, so you do actually have to aim for weak spots, but it is an American tank, so it does have very decent accuracy, and on top of it, also crazy randomness like that, where I got penetrated in the, you can see there, right on the top of the tank, which is, I guess, technically possible, from another Super Pershing, and it killed my radio man. So, yeah, not a big deal, but still, a surprise penetration. No technical damage there, other than being tracked is annoying. Me trying to go for a track on him, I wasn't too certain. I was trying to wait. Shot for nothing. He shoots, damages my gun. I keep thinking that he's actually penetrating and doing damage, but I guess I really overestimated what was happening to me. I should have, looked at my health as opposed to taking the assumptions there, because I thought that he kept going through me and I was starting to worry a bit, but I need to realize that, hey, it's a Super Pershing, it can take a million hits without ever taking any damage. So a little bit of time later I realized, I'm actually perfectly fine. End up taking out the 28 who kind of rolled in behind me, which is another tank I should have bought but didn't because I didn't want to overload myself, and I just got to fend off this T-26 in front of me who keeps rolling up, giving me his very weak sides, as opposed to being able to shoot his cheeks right underneath that plate right there, like that. So I was able to finish him off, no problems, and actually he didn't do much damage to me from the front. It was mostly from when I was tracking down that T-28 behind me. And of course there's a KV-5 here, that's a pain in the butt. So I aim that one carefully, and I start backing up because I don't want him to ram me, even though I think we're almost the same tonnage in terms of what this game will use for damage against each other. But yeah, now I need to start gaining distance so that he has less accuracy on me, and I can ping him a lot better than he can ping at me. Plus, I know that he's not pinning me from the front. There's no way. Tier 8s, there's very low chance that they're going to be able to pin you. So, missed shot there at his little R2-D2. I'm just going to keep backing up until I know I'm safe. I know he's going to probably back up so that he's safe behind that tank, but I'm going to be able to shoot his commander's cupola a heck of a lot easier, and he's going to shoot mine. But, anywho, where was I? Yeah, so anyway, I've gotten to the point where I kind of have too many toys. I have, as you've all seen my garage, I have easily 50, maybe 75 tanks in my garage, maybe a little less. But I have basically every tank I've played from Tier 5 onward, including premiums that I've picked up over time. So, there you go, sneak shot right up onto his commander's cupola because it's a much taller target than mine. So, I end up having to go and make things work to kind of fit that in there, and it's starting to take me longer and longer to do doubles, and it really makes it tough to do videos for you guys because I don't know what I've shown you what I haven't. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you guys haven't seen this yet, have you? If not, oh well, hope for the best. So that's where I'm going to start bringing in some new stuff, but I need to finish what I currently have before I progress into new things. Because I don't want to sit there and do, 10 or 20 tier 8 doubles in a night, which translates to about, 30 or 40 tier 8 games because of all the repeats you got to do over time. Now, I make a critical mistake by just sitting here and waiting and waiting and waiting. I shoot him, and I honestly should move. I should hop down, or at least move out. I'm sitting in a terrible spot, and this is exactly why. Because right about now is when I regret it. But, oh well. So I'm going to let this roll while I quickly talk about the rest of the stuff. So yeah, I'm keeping the tier 8s I have now. I haven't purchased anything new yet. I ended up only buying one new tank, but I'm going to use the premiums I bought to save up and get the rest as I filter out some of those tier 8s I'm currently working on, and maybe I'll pick up the tier 9 variations of them as I go, but that's not a priority. I want to try and get stuff picked up. I definitely want to get that Panther too, that's on my list. The T-28 Proto is certainly a tank. I don't have the T-28 Proto, I just need the T-28. So I want to get the T-28 probably. That one's lower on the list. The Panther 2 is totally on top. And then I can also get that ACMLE, or not ACMLE, the Tier 7 artillery. Is it Tier 7 or the Tier 6 French arty? The Lorraine 155-50. So those are some things I want to pick up over time once I start replacing some of the other things I'm working on. I mean, I have too much going on now in terms of tanks. I don't want to start overloading yourself because you start entering that place in time where it's like, okay, I have so much going on right now that it becomes overwhelming and time consuming. It becomes a chore, and doing your doubles takes hours instead of, a couple rounds. So there's a point where you're starting to get, negative return on value there for the tanks you've purchased. While it would be nice that you get, I find that about 6 tanks is what I'd consider my, oh, you're going to see how lucky this IS-3 gets here. Watch this derp fest. But anyway, I find that 6 tanks is about what I can take in terms of a amount of tanks that I can play doubles without getting overwhelmed. As you get more tanks than 6, it starts to become too much, and I feel that I'm right on that borderline. So with that, I'll hopefully be able to wrap things up quicker and be moving into newer tanks. So let me go ahead and finish this one off, and I will start another one, actually live commentary. Alright, so as you can see here, this is actually my second game ever in this tank, and I got first class, so that's impressive, and 3,600 experience on a double. Yeah, they were just doubles at this point. This was right after the quintuples? Yeah, the 5 times had already expired. This was yesterday, so that's fantastic, on top of 113,000 credits. My God, yeah, well, let's just go ahead and say that was awesome. As you can see, they spotted quite a few people, 5 people, damaged a good chunk, only 5 of the people that I had there. Critically, what was that, 1, 2, apparently critical the JT-88 for 2 people without doing any damage, or for 2 things without doing damage. So, double tracks, maybe? But anyway, yeah, a little bit of spotting damage, but as you can see, killed 2 people, crap ton of hits on that KV-5. And then, of course, the 2 medals are 2 little ribbons there. On top of that, we go into the team score. The biggest damage out of the entire team was me, because I just laid into a lot of tanks there. This tank is good at outputting a lot of damage and absorbing damage. So, outshot that JT-88, but barely, because the JT-88 is another massive damage dealer. And same with that KV-5, that thing right underneath us. So, all 3 of us at the top there did awesome. My buddy Kurgan sadly got squished early because he didn't have much in the way of support. Still pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look there at the detailed report, and you can see the amazing thing, 5,000 damage was the potential received. So tons of damage deflected off. I hit 20 out of 24 shots, penetrating 14 of them, so decent amount of hits. I bounced 17 shots, so if I survived, I easily would have gotten steel wall, but sadly no such luck because that Hummel ranged in on me. I kind of just hung out a little too long, but it is what it is. So there you go. A fantastic game in this little tank. I certainly loved it. It did amazing. And yeah, I can only see myself doing better and better with this thing. It's a great tank. Now I know why everyone uses it. And I was using AP, not gold, so there. Anywho, let's go ahead and jump into some live commentary, and we're going to go take a look at some of the new tanks that I picked up. So one of the main problems with running a KV, or not, what am I thinking, KV? When running a new tank assortment and playing like, you know, 8 or 9 or so tanks, is you really start to become a jack of all trades and master of none. And that's what I've kind of seen myself doing. When I have like 4 main tanks I'm working on for doubles over, you know, the 6 to 8 to 10 that I have now, I tend to do a whole lot better because I really learned those tanks in and out. And as you can see here, this is one of the new tanks that I picked up, running the IS-6 here. It's a nice premium tank. I really like it. It's very bouncy. It has a great gun on it. It just is fantastic. I really like it a lot. I originally didn't like it so much because I thought it was very fragile and easy to deal with, but after playing against it for so long, it is crazy bouncy and very difficult to do anything about. So overall, I mean, I've ended up really liking it over the 5 games I played with it, but that all plays into the whole, I really haven't had the time to sit down with said tank X and learn it and figure out what makes it so good. And that's something I'm working on right now. Is once I start to clear out some of those tanks, I want to thin it down, because I do my best when I can learn, you know, a given amount of tanks. You know, just a handful, not going through the whole slew of, you know, 10 tanks that I have to double. I can actually sit there and focus and learn how this tank works and that tank works. And I have to sit there and be like, okay, well, this tank kind of does this, but kind of does that, but I want to do all these other tanks, blah, blah, blah. No, I can sit there and be like, okay, for example, let's take my, this guy needs to get out of my ways. Let's take, for example, the, man, I gotta go around all these people. Take, for example, as the 3rd time I'm trying here, take, for example, the Patton and the Pershing. Those are easily some of my best tanks in my play. And that's because I didn't have too many other tanks going on while I was playing it. It really was just mainly the Patton and then the Pershing and then the Patton. Not much else in the way when I was doing them. And that really makes all the difference in the world, as I was able to solely focus, oh, that was a wasted shot, on those tanks and really learn the ins and outs. Like, learn that the turret is fantastic at bouncing stuff, and that you really can't sit there and do anything else other than just poke your turret out. And even if you do, you really got to angle that tank, and it's very fast firing, it's super accurate, but it's by no means a brawler, stuff like that. And that's just things that you learn, and that I found out over the course of playing and really learning, and just really finding just how much I can enjoy those tanks. Fine, you want to play that game? I'll play that game. And he played it too. For shame. Alright, let's see if I can't crush this guy. Oh, nuts to you. There we go, he turned his side plate to me. Alright, we'll go ahead and repair. I'm not going to repair my main gun, there's no need to. I've already cleared most of the people here. But anyway, yeah, that's the thing, is like this. I can't really focus on learning this tank in particular. I'm not really focusing on learning the Type T-34 or the AMX 5100 because I have so many other tanks going on that it's tough to sit. I mean, yeah, technically you could easily learn every tank in the game and know exactly how it operates, but that's like playing Call of Duty and knowing how to work 10 different guns perfect to your play style. What works is if you work on, you know, 4 tanks at a time and adapt them into your play style and see how it really works. Then you become an expert on those, and then you can focus on other tanks as you go. We have no one going back to base. You're gotta be killing me. Okay, we cleared it. I was gonna say, that's not gonna be good. Alright, I gotta clear this so that I can focus on killing these guys at range. So, where was I? Yeah, so there's so many things that you gotta learn. Oh, wow, you gotta be kidding me. I ricocheted off that. So it's a whole process of learning too many tanks at once, I think, that's the problem. And so when you get too many toys, it becomes a problem. You really need to focus on a handful of toys at once. not the entire freaking armada of the tanks at your disposal. And then once you get it down to that, then you can really work on, you know, I've become good at this tank. I know exactly how to make this tank work for me. I don't have to worry too much about making this work or that work. You really do start to learn how things operate and how to make, you know, your games better. And that's the problem I'm facing right now, is I have way too many tanks that I'm working on to effectively... Good lord, I'm bouncing way too much. Get right up on you, have fun bouncing off me. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now, is I'm learning just... There's too many tanks in my arsenal, and that's what's preventing me from having fantastic experiences, because I'm not able to learn so much. Alright, we're going to see the plethora of messages I have going on below. But, anywho, so there you go, Sniper, not too shabby. Getting Sharpshooter and Master Gunner there. Then, of course, killing a few, damaging a few, spotting one. Spotting, really. So, top of the damage charts, second for experience. The guy above me got Defender. Yeah, he earned that one. Someone had to go back there, good job. Steel Wall on him. How much damage did I bounce? I bounced... not money, only 4 hits received, and only a little bit of damage, nothing major there. But overall, I mean, this tank's fantastic, and I'm slowly learning it as I go. But as I was saying, you can see here, my doubles cut off right here. As to how many I'm doing, I have this one, you know, I have 2 here, I have 3, 4, 5 on occasion, 6, 7, 8 different tanks that I'm working on. So that's a lot of tanks to deal with, all in one shot. And that's just if I'm doing just the ones that I'm focusing on primarily. That's not including any, you know, premiums or anything. So let's go ahead and move on to another tank here, and we'll continue talking about, you know, too many toys, I think, is what we're going to call this one. So this little tank here, the Type 62, is basically a WZ-131 with a smaller gun. Not even close to the WZ-132 there, but, you know, same in sort of the way that it's supposed to be played. This thing was actually given to me by Sapphire Fox on the NA server. Very nice guy who gave this to me to test out. He said that he always enjoyed his and wanted to see what I thought of it. So it's really going to be a learning process with this tank. I actually just played one before this one and summarily got destroyed because I'm not too familiar with how it plays and operates yet. But I do know this, it is not a scout. As much as you want to think it's a scout, when it first came out, not Warlord Games, it's a model company for bolt action, Wargaming put out a little video on it, just telling you what all it's capable of, and basically it's a light attack tank. You go after and you flank people, shoot them in the flanks, because as you can see the gun on it at 145 pin is not going to do too much. It's not there to do anything about that. It's there to interfere with other scouts, it's there to crush, pull in on flanks where it can, and it's there to harass people and get around to their flanks and do damage that way. It's not there to sit around and go toe-to-toe with anybody or anything like that. It really is not that sort of a tank at all. And of course, it is not as speedy as one might think either. So, it's a tank meant to capitalize on shortcomings and small little feats here and there. Maybe do no damage to a person, but it is not meant to do some of the things that people normally expect it to. So it's an interesting little tank here as I'm trying to make it work for me. I still have a lot to learn about it. I certainly know nothing compared to what some experts might know. I got a long way to go before I would even guess at knowing what's going on with this thing. Oof, I took a track hit there. Come on, repair already, buddy. But yeah, so, I mean, this is a cool little tank. I know I have a long way to go, but that also plays into that whole I have yet to actually play it enough to really learn it sort of circumstance. There's still a lot to learn, a lot to do with this thing. I mean, it goes with almost every other tank I've been playing, in the fact that I don't know it offhand. I don't know enough about it to even begin to guess as to what you're supposed to do versus what works, what doesn't. Let's see if I can't take this guy out first before I have to deal with the base. Alright, he actually can probably out DPS me. Alright, well, someone's got to reset. Didn't even scratch him. It does reload fast, which is very nice. I do like that fact, because otherwise I'd be having some issues trying to be able to do anything to some people here. So the fact that it reloads fast is nice. The fact that, you know, it can actually penetrate and do damage on the flanks is nice. Again, this thing's like really a light assault tank, and it's, you know, it's not bad for what I'm doing. It's working. Oops. Now, if I would have shot better. Yeah, so in addition to that, I also ended up getting a gaming mouse thanks to my girlfriend for my birthday. I got a MMO7, so I gotta learn how to use that thing in addition to all these other tanks that I'm learning as well. Because I have not played with the MMO7 before. I used to have a really old crappy mouse, a MX510. It's like probably 5-6 years old now, maybe even older than that. So it's quite an upgrade. It goes up to 6400 DPI. I have no freaking idea how to use that. So I mean, it's great and all, but I mean, there's so many buttons on here, so much I gotta learn. I really don't know, you know, the first thing about it, like how the mode buttons work, how to enter different modes and whatnot else. And hopefully one day I'll figure it all out. But in the meantime, it's a fun little toy, but I certainly have no freaking clue what to do. There went my engine. But hey, look at that. I survived. Whew! Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this stuff. I got 3rd class on it. Nice. Wow, I damaged a lot of people. And I even shot that ISU. So yeah, I mean, once I learn how to play this tank, I'm sure it'll be fun. Wow. We capped with just that few people. We did awesome. Good job, team. He got Invader. Yep, I think he got all the points, and he got Defender. I helped a little bit there with 19 defense there. A little bit of damage, not too bad. 1500, so I'm not arguing. I already got a double on this thing earlier, and I actually scored more now than I did in the double because I didn't do a lot. But, I mean, I have all these new tanks I gotta play with and learn. I have a new mouse I have to adapt to and learn. I don't even know what's like a good DPI setting. That shows you how antiquated I am, but I am starting to learn some things on it. I mean, if anyone has any tips or tricks on it, let me know. But yeah, I mean, some things that I've definitely learned are the whole, if you get too many tanks, you really hurt yourself because you don't learn everything about those individual tanks as you can if you just play a small subset. Like, if I were to play all my doubles at once, I'm obviously not going to know nearly as much as if I were to just be working on, you know, 3 tanks. It makes a huge difference when you're doing just that. In addition to that, I have all these other tanks I want to buy. So, I mean, I do have a goal, but I don't want to overload myself. So I definitely want to structure out how I want to progressively make it there. I'll try and slim down how many I'm working on at once. Because otherwise, I'm going to probably end up suffering because of it. Other than that, I mean, yeah, I'm learning about how to use this mouse. The MMO7 it's a freaking beautiful mouse. But, man, there's a lot of buttons. It's going to take me a little bit to learn how to work it and how the profiles work. I mean, I'm running a World of Tanks profile, so I do kind of get it. I just got to get in the habit of actually using the buttons on the mouse to do what the keyboard normally can do. But, yeah, so that about covers it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of my Let's Play World of Tanks. I'm going to be putting out some stuff like this. I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on StarCraft and this now that my Minecraft run was over. And yeah, maybe I'll slip back into the whole user replays as well. So, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.